Okay, so this is being now recorded. And next thing that I will do is I'm gonna mute everyone. Feel free to unmute yourselves whenever you deem suitable. As always, we will have plenty of time to do Q&A at the end of this seminar. We do have a chat box that you can utilize to any extent you wish. We have Chris and Stefan with us, and here we go. People already posting. Hello, hey Reyes. So if you have questions as this webinar, this presentation is underway, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll try to attend to them as they come up, or kind of tackle them collectively after the material has been presented. Speaking of the material, what I will also do here is, let me just switch to everyone. I'm going to share the slide deck here. Hold on a second, let me just find where it is. Here we go. That's the file. Let me. Okay, so now there we go. The PDF is in the chat box. You do see it also in front of you on the shared screen. It is the same thing. The only difference being that the PDF has some hyperlinks that will take you to some content. We will not really be using it all that often. It's sort of there to summarize everything that we will have covered. Most of the action, so to speak, will be happening in Canvas. If you like, you're welcome to follow along in your courses. Or just pay attention. As I said, this is being recorded. We will put it on YouTube sooner rather than later. Since this is the first workshop and the first event in the spring semester, I just wanted to quickly mention that all of the events that we hosted in the fall are now on our YouTube channel. So if there's anything that you've missed or would like to review, it's all there. And if you're looking for a specific topic or specific information, just let me know, and I will see what I can find, what I can do. Okay. So let me move the chat box away and formally welcome everyone to the first webinar or this semester, spring 2021. And we will be starting with the new updated rich content editor, or the RCE, that was rolled out for Canvas at some point in late December. Just a few words to sort of define what a rich content editor is. Long story short, it facilitates and enhances content creation in Canvas, and it is the text box. In a very simplified way, it is a text box that you use when you create an announcement, an assignment, or when you put together a new page. It has been recently updated with a range of useful new features, which I will try to cover most of during this webinar. There are a few things that we will not be talking about, but I'm happy to also cover them after we are done today. And if you are curious as to what exactly was updated in the slide deck, on the second slide, this right here is an hyperlink to the documentation, so you can read pretty exhaustively on the changes. Okay, so what I will do now is I will just switch over to Canvas, where we have our little sandbox course shell. And I'm going to jump right into it by moving over to the announcements and creating a new one, creating a new announcement. Again, even though I'm using announcements to sort of demonstrate these new features, they are pretty uniform across assignments, pages, modules, and other content types. So right off the bat, what you can see here is that the tab here, or the toolbar here, that I'm pointing right now, and I'm pointing it right now, it's a little bit different. It has a bit of a different layout. Depending on how big your screen is, you may notice that some of the icons will be hidden. You can expand them by clicking this, let's call it kebab icon. For me, I'm just going to expand the window so as to reveal the full array. And I think the easiest thing to do, and the probably most sensible thing to do, would be to just demonstrate, starting with text, what these new features are, right? And in many ways, you will recognize that many of the things resemble what you know already from Canvas. Again, I will try to highlight the newer features here too. So let's input some text. Let's see, fact are more excited about the spring break than students, which is oftentimes the case. And so with this simple text, let me highlight it. What we can do with this new text editor that we were not really able to do previously is to, if you go to Format, and let's see, start with the fonts, we'll see if we can change the font. Again, this is a new feature. This is something that was not available before. The selection of font faces is not overpowering, but still it's nice to have some choices. So I'm just going to go ahead and maybe select this font right here. I can then increase the size. The default is 12. Let's make it a little bit bigger, maybe 18. And let's say that I would like to change the color of it, which I can also do now. I can do so from here, and let's make it teal blue. Okay. So one of the things that we just did is we increased the size. Another way to style this text, and we will be operating for the time being out of the format menu here, is by going to the blocks feature, which styles things such as headers, paragraphs, and so on and so forth. And it actually already comes with predefined font sizes. So if I want to make this a little bit bigger, I could choose to, actually heading 2 didn't really change the size all that much. So let me just go back to the standard font and move to a different heading. There you go. So we kind of get the point how we can manipulate the styling of the text. Moving, or sort of going back to the Format tab, another feature that is perhaps worth attention is directionality. And this is particularly relevant to those of us who are working with writing systems that are not left to right, but right to left. So I'm not really sure if there's anyone here that would find that useful. But if we switch it from right to left, then we'll have something like this. And this will be applied to all of the content that we're producing, that we're putting in the box. Let me reverse that change here and move and set it to be left to right. Other sort of things, other features that are available to us in this format menu are or should be familiar, at least. So we have, we can make the text bold, italic, we can underline it, so on and so forth. I think the superscript and the subscript features are newer. I can't really think of sort of immediate intuitive application of these two in the language classroom, but they're certainly there. Same with entering code snippets. It's not really something that we will be utilizing much. What is important and that I should point out, however, is that a lot of these features are also present right here in this second section. So the first section regulates the font size and the block formatting. The second one deals with further styling of it, right? So bolding, italicizing, underlining, text color, background color, and so on and so forth. So having input this text fragment, not something that is terribly exciting. Let's move on to working with multimedia objects, which is the feature that got that changed, I think, most, and that really offers some cool new functionalities. All of these multimedia objects are available from, or can be managed rather, from this insert tab right here. And we will see that there's quite a bit of them. Some of them, again, you will be able to recognize. The things that are new that we will not necessarily deal with in this webinar are equations and tables. Tables are pretty complex in this new editor. And if we wanted to, we can just spend a whole separate webinar on that topic. I am happy to cover it if there is a need for it, but it's not going to be today. But for the time being, let us just begin from the very top with links. So with that, once we highlight the link feature, we see there's two choices, right? You can either insert external links or course links. So let us maybe begin with an external link. And since we are on the topic of spring break, I have already searched for and pulled up a link here from National Geographic, which is now asking me for my email address, which I won't give it. Okay, so let me just copy it. And again, this is just to demonstrate what we can do with a link. For your classes, you will probably want to use something that is more relevant to the material. So moving back to the Courseworks/Canvas tab, I'm going to go ahead and paste the link right here, right beneath the link label. And in the text, I will enter something like tips for a safe spring break. And what happened is that our hyperlink got inserted into the document, and in fact got inserted as the text that we specified. If we don't want it to look like this, we can go back to options and and change it to something that we like better. And because it is for all needs and purposes treated as regular text, we can change its color. So let's make it maybe black. We can make it bold. And style it as though we were dealing with a regular text. Another link type that we can insert that's available to us is a course link. And if we click here, we are being prompted to a side panel that essentially reveals all of the content that is already in the course, right? So those would be things that are like pages that have been generated, maybe some assignments that we already prepared for the course, quizzes, any kind of content that is available here could be linked directly into in the editor. So let's say that I want this announcement to be accompanied by some sort of a quiz. I can select it, and just like that, it appears in the box. Of course, we'll probably need to describe it in some way or label it in some way, but the convenience is definitely there. Okay, so I'm gonna close that right now, and let me check the chat box really quick. Okay, Reyes is saying that we have a question from Maria McCormack, phonetic symbols in the editor. Okay, I will tackle that after the presentation. Reyes uses tables all the time. Great. Okay, perfect. Good. So moving forward, this pretty much takes care of the links. Moving down, we have images, and let us go ahead and click on upload an image. And what we see here is a slightly different menu, and specifically there's one new feature or newish feature that was added, and that is Unsplash. So Unsplash is the third-party platform that allows you to search for royalty-free images, right? So let's say that we want to find something that relates to spring break. And just like that, we have a list of 834 images that's populated, which we can use without any limitations, as long as they stay sort of within this purview of the course shell. So let's say that I like this one and would like to insert it in the in the editor. I can do that by just like that. Hold on a second. By selecting it and submitting it right here, and boom, here it comes. Okay, we see that it has been inserted in our window. Now, it is a little bit big. There are a few ways in which we can resize it, which are new, actually. One way to do it would be to click on the image itself and sort of drag it down to the size that we want. Or if we are, and this is sort of just playing it by the eye here, but if we know the exact size of the image that we want to input, we click Image Options, and here we can input the dimensions. You will notice that as we are, so I defined this 800 by 533 pixels. As I input 800, this value adjusted to preserve the ratio, meaning that if we change the size of one side, the other side changes likewise. This could be turned off. Actually, no, my bad. You were able to change that in the previous version of Canvas. You can't do it in this one, which is fine. So we have it set as embed image, but what we can also do is we can turn it into a hyperlink. And if we do that, we simply have a text here that gives you the title of the image. When we click on it, it will expand. It will generate the actual image for us. So, but what I will do is I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. Maybe even remove this whole thing for us, and go back to inserting things, upload image, And rather than uploading it or using Unsplash for this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and upload something that's maybe more appropriate for the times that we live in. And there's already image that I prepared. There we go. And you will notice that much like with the previous situation, there are some extra features that come with the image. One of them is the alternative text, and this serves sort of two functions. One is that it provides a description of the image to people who are visually impaired or hard of seeing. And the other function would be that if for some reason the image cannot be generated correctly, the alt text will be displayed in its place. So here I will put something like COVID cartoon. It is not mandatory to input this, but I usually do. And I will submit it like that. And maybe make it a little bit smaller. Okay, you will see that you can also manipulate it on the page however you want. All right, so we have an image that's also now in. Just maybe remove this guy here. So we have an image that is in our announcement. Moving back to the things that we can insert, you will notice that there are also course images and user images. The difference between those two is that, let me just maybe open it. If we open the course images, that will give us access to all of the images that had already been preloaded for that specific course, right? So if you have a course shell and if you have already put some images in there, they will all be displayed here in this image bank, so to speak. And from here, you can then paste them into your editor. Similarly, you can, rather than focusing on just one course, the specific course that you're working with, you can go to all of the files that you have uploaded across all of the courses where you're teaching, and it should give you access to everything. For some reason, my images are not coming up here, and I'm not really sure why. They're not displaying. So I'm going to go back to course files. Okay. So far, so good. So we have some text. We have a nice image in our message. Let's see what else we can do here. The next stop would be media, and I will go right into it. So let's select upload versus record media, and the first tab allows us to upload things from that we have locally stored on our computers. But what is more interesting is the record tab, which allows you to record things directly. And by things, I mean you can either shoot a short video with your camera or just use the microphone. Okay. Let's see. Oh yes, one thing that I wanted to mention is that this will only work in Google Chrome. If you try to record directly into Canvas with other browsers, in Firefox it's pretty wonky. In Safari will not let you do that at all. So just like with everything else, Chrome would be the safest bet here. What I'm going to do is record a short video just to demonstrate how it works. So I will select the webcam and introduce myself. Hello, my name is Simon, and welcome to the course. Okay. I'll give it a title. Save it, and wait until it generates. It does take it some time to think through it and to process the video. Once it's done, it should appear in the box. Now, let's say that many of us already have a pretty robust library of materials, whether it's audio or video that that we can put up on Canvas. Let me just go back here. We can do that by uploading these directly from the computer. In addition to creating recordings directly through Canvas, I wanted to use this as an opportunity to remind everyone that there is also an alternative tool named Vocaroo that we can use to create really quick audio recordings. So hello, my name is Simon. Welcome to the course. And the reason why I am producing this recording with Vocaroo is to sort of demonstrate how we can upload various media types to Canvas. So with that little audio clip downloaded, I'm going to go back to the media and find the clip, open it up, and submit it. And there you go. So just like that, we have a video and a short audio clip already embedded in our message. Again, you can record yourself directly from Canvas. If you have stuff that's already saved on your computer, you can just upload it right away. Another thing that is sort of related to working with audio and video is YouTube. A lot of us, if not all of us, use YouTube. Before this update, I think what all you needed to do is just paste the link from a YouTube video, and it would directly populate and render in your message or in the text editor. Things are working a little bit different now with this new update. So to illustrate that, I will go ahead and go to Insert. And rather than inserting an image or a media, which would be the intuitive thing to do here, I'm going to go to Embed instead. And this opens up an Embed dialog box, which is asking for a piece of code. Okay. And the kind of code that it's asking for is, it could be iframe, it could be a differently formatted HTML container. But considering its popularity, I think it would be safe to stick to iframe here. So let's go to YouTube, where I have already prepared a video on spring break. And let's see how we can share it so that we're able to embed it in our content editor. So after clicking on the share button, there's a bunch of sharing options. The very first one is embed, and after clicking on it, it produces an iframe element. So let us highlight it, copy it, and move back over to Canvas and paste it right here. Okay, and what should happen when we submit it is that it should generate a video directly from YouTube with all the controls that we're familiar with. Now, you will notice that none of these controls will work from the edit menu. They will be active, and you will be able, or one will be able to use them once this content is saved and published. Okay, so this is sort of how you would paste or include YouTube videos in your messages, in your assignments, in all other types of your content. Since it's working with this platform is working with iframe in general, it will work with YouTube, but it's also going to work with other things such as Flipgrid. You can also include an iframe with a Padlet in a similar fashion. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but if you're interested, I'm more than happy to show you how to do it personally. And let's see what else. Well, by now there's a bunch of things that we have here. Let us maybe try to organize it visually a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a horizontal line to sort of separate this portion of the announcement from the bottom portion of it. And after or having done that, I wanted to go back to insert to take a look at document. And the reason for this, because many of us already have a bunch of documents saved on our computers, and by documents I mean things like syllabi, handouts, exercises, assessment instruments. This feature here allows you a very convenient and intuitive way of including them in whatever content you're preparing, you're producing. So because there's already a syllabus that I had uploaded to this course, I'm going to go ahead and navigate to course documents. And from here, I will highlight the course syllabus. And just like that, a hyperlink got included. Okay. Now, what happens if I click on it? There, I am presented with a dialog box with link options and one that allows me to remove the link. But if I click on the link options, I can further configure this course syllabus. And specifically, if I want it to be presented not as a link, but as an actual rendered document, from here, what I can do is check this box. Maybe I'll also change the name, course syllabus, and I'm going to click done. Now, you will notice that this hasn't really done anything, and that is simply because all the changes, or these changes, will actually be rendered after the announcement is saved. So let me do, let me do just that. Let me just save it here. And this is how it will look for our students, right? So you see that all the controls are, they work, they're active. Similarly for the YouTube video. And then our document is an actual document, right? So rather than a link that opens in a separate window, we have everything sort of here in one place, which is convenient, right? Which presents everything to our students in a way that's neatly packaged and accessible. Let me scroll up, go back to editing. This announcement has no title, just name it as announcement. And let me scroll back down here. And the course syllabus is the last element that we've included here. Now, you will notice that a lot of these features that are available under Insert are also represented on the taskbar here by icons, right? So they're all visible here in sort of this third section of the taskbar. The fourth section of the taskbar that has this plug here takes you to the external tools and external apps. And those would be things like, Panopto, Quizlet, which are the two third-party apps that are integrated in our instance of Canvas that we have here at Columbia. There are more that could be integrated, but because again it all has to go through CUIT, right now this is what we have. Nevertheless, if you are a user of Panopto or if you use Quizlet, this gives you a relatively simple and convenient way to incorporate these elements in your content. But since I don't use either of these things, I'm just going to cancel out here and direct your attention to the rest of the taskbar. These are these three buttons here deal with text formatting, right? So and they are they should look very familiar from what you already know from text editors. This allows you to align text. If you want a list, this button here will create it, and there's different types of lists that you can choose from now. I think before the choice was between ordered and unordered, and now there are many more. You can select or you can move indentation if you want, or choose your indentation. And moving forward, we do have this table editor, which I'm not going to get into right now. If there's a need for it, like I said, I would be more than happy to cover it in a separate webinar, because there's a lot that could go into it. Okay. So with that being said, let me save this announcement in my fake course and sort of move back over to the slide deck here. And to summarize all the things that we've covered, which could be a lot, I've prepared those 2 slides. So we started with ways to format text, and then we moved over to a much more interesting topic of inserting and working with multimedia objects. So we looked at links, they're external and internal. We also did a bit of work with images. We explored how to use Unsplash to find royalty-free images, and also how to work with files that we already have on our computers. Then we looked at audio and video. We saw how to record directly in Canvas, but also how to upload files. And there was a short interlude with Vocaroo. Further, we looked at inserting documents either as just text links or as rendered objects. And then as far as the letter category is concerned, we also saw how we can use iframes to embed videos and other objects directly from other services, platforms, and websites. We also looked at some of the external tools, which for us at Columbia, we don't really have a big choice or a lot of them to choose from. But that's fine. And with that being said, we are almost at 3:45. I think it would be good to launch into questions and see if there's anything that we can help you with. So let me maybe stop screen sharing here and go to chat. And as I'm going through the chat, feel free to unmute yourselves. And if you have any questions, go ahead and bring them up. Okay. So let's see here. doesn't really seem like there are any pressing questions here. In that case, I'll just go sort of one by one, with starting with Maria McCormick. So her question was how to use phonetic symbols in the editor. To be honest, I wouldn't, I would not use the editor to do that. Instead, what I would suggest is a third-party tool, which let me share my screen with you to demonstrate. Okay, and open up in. So it's the tool is called typeit.org, and it is a freely available platform, mostly used for sort of math symbols, but it also has English IPA and full IPA. So whenever I have a need to use phonetic symbols, I just resort to that, and copy and paste whatever I need from here over to wherever I need it to go to. So let me just copy this and put it into chat, and I will send it to everyone if that's okay. Okay, Maria, is that okay? Does that answer your question?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Now I can, yes.
How about now?
Good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm aware of the Typeit tool. I just every couple of years I check back to see if someone's come up with a better alternative. But yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way right now. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I am not aware of anything better than that. That is, sort of state of the art, I think, at the moment. It would be nice to have something that's integrated in Canvas, but yeah, maybe it will come. Okay, Reyes uses tables all the time. Just two cell tables to put things next to each other. That would be a good way to organize the space for sure. And then Angie mentioned code feature. Let's see here. The code feature is great to embed interactive activities. Angie, would you like to elaborate on that? Do you mean iframe or do you mean
No, I used
other?
it. I think that you have done it also. I guess you can access it the way you did it before through the embed. But I also use it when I pick up, for example, the embed code for the Padlets or the learning app activities, so the H5P.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you create, for example, separating color coded bars within the page, you can then plug in the different colors that you want to change so that you can put it in the code. And that's how I've used it. But I saw later that you were able to do it through the insert column, that it was the same. I think it's another way of accessing it. And also the same way you can also, I've normally done it in the little symbol that you have right at below, right, that one, exactly. That's how I normally go in and do it. But I think it's the same eventually what you have done, the embed.
So what we were talking about here is working in with HTML code, which we saw a little preview of with in the context of embedding iframes. With that, you are just putting it a bit of a code on the page as an object, and have it rendered graphically. With what you can do, sort of taking one step further, if you want, is to work entirely in HTML, and you can do that by toggling to the HTML editor from the rich content, from the visual editor. Again, this would not be for everyone, but if you feel comfortable and if this is something that you would like to play around with, this is how you'll be able to access it.
One thing that I found useful is, for example, when you have an image, sometimes it's very difficult to get the cursor right below the image. I don't know why. And if you go through there,
Mm-hmm.
can pinpoint exactly where the image ends, and then you can create a space
Mm-hmm.
that would be reflected when you go back to the visual aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just playing with it a little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm just trying to see where we have.
I mean, you can go cross-eyed trying to find exactly where the
Right.
code for the picture ends, but it is possible.
No, this would be right here. So if it ends here, then this would be the space beneath the picture, and this is where we can. Again, not for everyone, but this is how you would do it. Oops, wrong button. Minimize that and go back to the visual. Okay, very good. Let me stop sharing this and go back to questions. Learning apps, H5P, perfect. Okay, what is the accessibility checker underneath the textbook? The little guy in the circle.
Yeah, that's not important, probably. I was just wondering.
Let's see. This guy right here. Oh, oops, sorry. I'm not sharing. Sharing. Here we go. So this guy right here.
Yeah.
It uses an algorithm to see if the page that you are, or the content that you're creating is accessible to people with, who have accessibility issues.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So
I see.
without getting too much into detail, HTML does include a lot of ways in which one can ensure that people who are hard of seeing or hearing can interact with content. And what this does is actually goes through the content you created and sort of checks if that would be possible for them. One way, and I kind of hinted at that by going to with image options, you have the alt text here, like that would be an example of it, right? Putting in a description of an image.
I see, yeah. But and what is that decorative image? I've always wondered that. Why would you check that off? What is the what's the purpose of that?
What it does, it permanently embeds it. In other words, like you can't, so if I check it, you can't turn it into a link. Like it stays an image.
Oh, I see.
And as to why they call it that way, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, let me just leave it open in case there are other questions here. Okay, what is the function of the? Okay, so we got that. I find the full screen option of the window is game changer. It helps a lot to edit content when you see the whole box in your screen. Absolutely, yes. You were not able to with the previous editor, for sure. Having H5P as an option would be good too. I think that it is now included in ed blogs, which is not part of Canvas, but we do have access to it. Like there's something out there that we can use. Another question, just a comment to make the editor window full screen mode. If you can show that, yeah, sure, absolutely. So let me go back to the content here. To make it full screen, just click this, and boom, it blows up. Okay. And then Maria McCormick asks what H5P is. And rather than answering that question, I will maybe let a member of our audience answer it. So I don't know, Angie, I don't want to put you in a spot, but you work a lot with H5P. I think Ray is also.
It's a platform to create interactive activities that you can then embed within the page in Canvas or any other platform. So if you want to create, for example, an activity, say, with multiple choice or fill in the blank or a little collaborative essay, or you have, for example, the last one I did was if you have a text, for example, and I wanted the students to identify all of the past tenses. So you can create the activities so that they've got to highlight on all of the past tenses, for example, and it's interactive. So you can then embed it and put it in one of the pages, for example, in Canvas. They have limited a lot the types of activities that you can create. They were fantastic. You could create up to like 20 different activities. But now I think that they are trying to start asking for subscription or something. And the problem is that, although I do think that, as you said, Simon, that there might be a link through the ed blogs, I think that the problem is where you host the activities. Because I think that they no longer want to use their own platform of H5P for you to host their activities. So I think that slowly they're going to migrate probably to more of a subscription based. And yes, the learning apps is also fabulous. It's the same thing. You can create activities and then embed them within your, learning apps has less restrictions, it's true. Yeah. It's a little more quirky. It's H5P. It's a little bit more state of the art for some activities that they have, but it works well, both of them.
So we did, there were a couple events that we did that featured H5P, and at least 2 of them are on our YouTube channel. Just type this here.
Yeah.
So Maria, if you go to, right, you'll only present on that, exactly. So if you go to YouTube, search for Columbia LRC, and then within that channel, you look up H5P, it should come up with the videos that feature that platform, so you can maybe get a better sense of what it is. Learning apps is a good alternative, as Ray has pointed out. I do believe it also integrates with Canvas.
Yes.
Right?
It does.
Okay. It's just, again, not for us. So, but it's fine because you can still use it independently and sort of, put things or embed things as iframes. Okay.
Simon, I have a comment.
Go ahead.
So another option, if you want to input IPA symbols in the Canvas rich text editor, is if you have a Mac, you can just go, click in the text field, click on edit, and then emoji and symbols, and then you select from the phonetic alphabet, and you can just input them that way too.
Chris, do you want to show how to do that?
Sure.
Hold on, let me make you a co-host so I can share your screen. And I'll stop sharing my screen.
Okay. So if I'm making an assignment, I can do edit, and this isn't a Mac. Emoji and symbols. Can you see that? And then you have different kinds of symbols, and then the International Phonetic Alphabet is an option that you have to kind of dig in to activate. And then, you click the symbol, and it appears in your text box. So that's another option if you have a Mac.
Thanks, Chris. Okay. Let's go back here.
Yeah, Reyes, thank you.